Hello, Jessica. This one says, I met a charming man almost a year ago who swept me off my feet. He shows me so much love and care to the extent that he wants to take the relationship to the next level. He introduced me to his family and vice versa. The problem here is that he talks too much, which turns me off despite his good-looking features. I've advised him countless times to cut down on talking to no avail. We sometimes fight over trivial issues which blow my mind away sometimes. Worst of all, he sometimes behaves and nags like a woman. I'm gradually bailing out of the relationship despite his adorable deeds. I don't know if I should go ahead with our marriage plans, which is set to come off next month in October. I love him, but I can't stand his pettiness. I feel I've hit rock bottom. What should I do?
Wow.
It's funny because I was having this conversation on my radio show just a couple of days ago, and I was talking about whether people preferred partners who were quiet or partners who were talkatives.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it was divided, actually. But I'm curious to hear what you ladies have to say. I mean, what would you do if you were dating a guy who just will not stop talking?
I don't get what she means by he will not stop talking. It's a little bit vague because I talk a lot. I really, really talk. Sometimes I have to really remind myself to keep quiet because I like to talk and say things, but I don't think the things I say don't make sense.
Okay.
So someone who is a quiet person might have a problem with that. It doesn't mean I'm not making sense. It's just that they want their quiet, space or whatever. So it depends on what the person is saying. Or maybe he's just giving out secrets, or I don't get what she's trying to say. And then she said he nags like a woman.
Yeah.
Then maybe something she's doing wrong. Because for someone to nag about something, it could be something you're doing that they don't like, and you keep doing it. So it's I think it goes beyond just talking too much. And also, why will you say you've decided to marry someone knowing that he's all of these things? Because before you decide to make things official with someone, it should be based on the things that you guys have found out about each other during the dating process. Dating process is about gathering information, and then making the choice on whether to make it official or not. So, and also when you decide to be with somebody, then it's because in spite of what you found out, maybe let's say the negatives of the person, and you say in spite of that, I still want to be with the person. That's when you decide to go ahead. And you're talking about next month. So obviously, maybe plans have, progressed, to a point where it's like you just have to go and say, I do. So I don't get why, if you have all these doubts, you have decided to make it official.
Right.
Because I won't sit here and say, okay, he says he talks too much, so what's the big deal? Because what you don't like is what you don't like. So we can't say, oh, it's nothing. Because for all you know, maybe he's not really offering that much anyway. So that's why this thing is a big deal to her. Because maybe when she weighs things, it could be that maybe if he had more, should I say, pros, then those things might not really mean too much. So, right. But I think he's not really bringing much to the table, you see. And so she also ask herself why the guy is also nagging. It could be that they are not listening to each other, like I always say, and that is why someone will keep on, harping on the same thing, because you're not compromising, or you're not, should I say, meeting the person halfway.
Right.
So what I can say to her is that if she feels, it's gonna, because for me, I understand her a bit, because I have people who tell me that you talk too much.
Oh, they tell you that?
Yeah, and then the worst thing is they have a very loud tone as well. People like me, we don't gossip, because you
everybody will hear.
Yeah, I'm like, I have a very loud. My tone is very high. People always ask me, "Can I tell you something? Can you bring your tone down?" I get that all the time.
I see.
Yeah, so I could get her to a point, but if that bothers you so much, then there's nothing we can do about it. Obviously, the guy is also not changing.
Right.
So if you can't, if you can't deal with it, there's no need to marry the guy.
Right.
It's either you find a way to adapt to him, maybe wear earphones or something. I don't know.
You might be offended about that.
Then don't marry the guy.
Yeah.
Marry people when you're certain, when you're sure. So don't go ahead.
Yeah.
That's it.
Okay. All right. Livy, I mean, is this a good enough reason to just walk away? Like Gail was saying, he's going to be a talkative. He's not going to do anything about this. Who he is. He loves to talk, and sometimes nag. Is that a good enough reason to just walk away?
For me, the whole thing about a guy nagging is news. It's like, okay, I don't mind the talking bit. This is me. I mean, clearly not the girl. But for me, for a guy to be nagging, not just Charlie, he's probably crossed the equator. But for me, my thing is, my question to you is, if you can't stand his talking now, what makes you think that you'll be able to stand it 20, 30 years from now? And for you, it's a put off. Okay, that takes you off. You're irritated. Sweetheart, this is the time that you guys are supposed to be sort of lovey-dovey, enjoying each other's company. I mean, when he's saying something crowd that's not funny, you by force you will laughing, oh baby, oh this, oh honey, and you're like, oh my days, can you keep quiet already? That's what you're thinking, but you're not voicing it out. Do you know what? This is my take. It's not like he talks too much, but you can live with it. You psychologically bailed out. So technically, I'm not sure what our advice should be, but if you bailed out now, what makes you think that after marrying him, you wouldn't bail out anymore, or it's going to be different? Sweetheart, Charlie, it's either you like this guy for who he is or you don't. Don't sugarcoat it, polish it. You're out, you've exited the relationship, my dear. So you know what? Just pick your bags and keep going, run. Okay, because sugarcoating it or making it look like, oh, he's going to change, ain't no way he's going to change, sweetheart. That's who he is. It's either you love him for him or you don't. Yeah. So you've checked out, just make it official. Say to him, babe, you know what? It's not me. It's you, Charlie. I mean, you're amazing. But Charlie, this whole talking thing, it's just not working out. And I believe that, I'll even pray for you. I believe that in the future, you'll get somebody who will love you for you. But for now, Charlie, let the guy know, okay, whether you break his heart today, break his heart tomorrow, you end up breaking his heart. So sooner or later, because right now, if it's getting serious and the poor guy doesn't know, it's not fair to him. Okay, it's not fair. If you can't point it out to him straight in the face and say, babe, I love you, but sometimes when you talk too much, some way. Okay, this is the situation where you can't even point it out to him and you don't even know how he'll take it. And I don't see him changing. And that's the thing about relationships. I said it last week. Relationship is about two imperfect people coming together. You come and complement each other. You don't try to change somebody. Okay, because when you do that, you end up making the other person into something that they are not, or they end up trying to please you. And it's about give and take. It's about compromise. It's about appreciating each other's strengths and weaknesses and just making it work. So, sweetheart, it's a non-starter. Make it official. Take the guy out of his misery, because by now he's building castles in the air. He's probably thinking, hey, Charlie, I found this amazing girl who's constantly listening to me. She's very patient. She's very loving. She's got such a listening ear. But Charlie, all of that is all sandcraft. The guy doesn't know that, Charlie, you don't feel him like that. So let him know. And then, Charlie, enjoy your life. In future, Charlie, when you see that the guys are talking too much, tell them that, Charlie, sweetheart, you know what? It's not my cup of tea. Don't stretch it too much to the point that it gets to, the door of marriage. You like it or you don't. No gray areas. Life is too short to be winding around in circles, and enjoy your life.
Right. So Olivia says leave. Gail says leave.
Yep.
Does Rosina say leave?
You see, I'm going to attack it in two different ways. The first thing is that I don't think that she's even sure that she loves him. You understand? The reason she gave for loving him, good looks, good deeds.
Yeah.
So her love for him is from the head and not from the heart. And that's why his talking is irritating her. Listen, when you love somebody, you want to be with the person as much as often. Of course, not in your hair, in your armpits, in your space. But I'm saying that when the person is talking, you know how you can laugh over dry jokes? You find it funny. Just because you're in love with the person or because you want to hear the person's voice. You see, the thing is that when you're getting into a relationship, you yourself, you need to be mature in order to be able to get into a relationship. You need to know that not everybody is like you. not everybody's going to think like you, and nobody's going to react to situations like you. There are different temperaments, there are different kinds of people. People express themselves in different ways. And you need to have a certain level of tolerance to be able to build a relationship, because sometimes, no matter how much you know the person, you get surprises when you get married. So my question is that if you're in love, if you claim you're in love with this person because of his good looks and because of his good deeds, you are truly not in love with the person. What it means is that it checks, he's able to check out on paper. Oh yeah, he's good looking, check. Oh, he bought me flowers on my birthday, yes. He made a very big spectacle, yes, da 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 da. But anytime he's happy, he wants to express himself to you, you see it as nagging. You see it as talking too much. When he says, oh, babe, I want us to do this, and you are not listening, you are not putting in the extra push, because you don't really truly love him, like you're not all over him. So anytime he's telling you, let's do this, all you see is Charlie, he's nagging, like he's talking too much. All I'm saying is that people are dying for their partners to talk to them. There are people in relationships who come home and they're alone, and there's nobody to talk to, and they're arguing because either the man is not available to talk to them or the woman is not available to talk to them. You have somebody who wants to talk to you. Unless, of course, your temperament is also such that you just don't like talking, then it means that you're in the wrong place. You're at the wrong address. So you need to change address. And like all my sisters are saying, look, nothing really gets easier with marriage. It actually gets accentuated with marriage. So if you are seeing certain things that you really don't like, in a marriage, it gets more irritating, because in a relationship, at the back of your mind, you know that you could always exit.
Anytime, yep.
But in a marriage, exit comes at a cost, not just financial, physical, emotional, psychological cost. So you realize that exiting a marriage is more difficult than exiting a relationship. And the fact that you can easily just pick up your bag and say, I'm not doing this again, it makes it easier to deal with. But when you feel like you're in that prison, it's so difficult to deal with. So all I'll say is that, look, everybody has that thing they call a deal breaker. If this is indeed your deal breaker, this is indeed the thing that really aches you, that really, is a big thorn in your face, like that you just cannot stand. My dear, don't lie to yourself and say that because he's good looking, because he can give you beautiful babies, and because he has good deeds, and he'll probably buy you something and put it on Instagram and say, I'm celebrating 2 years with my love, and probably buy you a car and with flowers on it. My dear, those things don't matter, because normally those little things, they're the deal breakers. So if you can't stand these little things, then don't take it further and lock yourself. But ask yourself, are you truly in love with this person, or you're in love with his deeds? Do you love him for who he is, or you love him for what he can bring? And for that matter, you are rejecting the true him, but you are in love with what he comes with. It's a package. So sometimes in a relationship, you need to learn to deal with the package. That's all I'll say. So it's actually your decision to make. Weigh it. What is more valuable? Ask yourself, do you love him? And when he's nagging, what does he nag about? I wish I knew what he nagged about. Is it nagging about wanting to spend time with you? Is it nagging about where did you go? Who did you spend time with? Who did you talk to? There are different kinds of. So what is he nagging about? Then that would make us know whether he's just nagging out of nagging, or maybe he's nagging because he really, really wants to spend time with somebody that he truly, truly loves and cherishes. So by day, like we keep saying, the decision is yours. Like Captain Planet, the power is yours. The decision is yours. Yeah. So please go into your inner self and know whether, and convince yourself that this is what you really want, and deal with the imperfections. If you can't convince yourself, please don't get into it, because exiting is no joke.
Right.
Thank you.
All right. So I agree with you, Rosina. Where I'd like to just branch off a little bit is probably the point that you raised about, you said something to the effect that if, like, basically you were questioning whether she actually loves him because she can't stand his talking and stuff like that. And I'll use myself as an example. I'm melancholic. I'm also sanguine, almost in equal proportion. So I have my moments where I'm on a high, and I have my moments where I just want to be quiet.
Yeah.
You could love someone, but sometimes
you want your space.
Man, the talk.
Yeah.
Ooh, listen.
It's very true. I mean, once in a while,
I get bored very quick. very quick. When someone's just going on and on, and you realize at that point that I start to zone out. Like I'll probably just take my phone and start looking around and like, when are you going to stop talking so I can get one?
I love you. I love you.
You know what I mean? So. Yeah, it's energy draining. And yeah, if you're not a talkative and you can't engage that person on that level, I would advise you not to go in. Because if you're anything like me, Charlie, you'll get bored really fast, you know. And talkatives don't actually know that they're talkatives.
Well, me, I know.
Oh, do you?
Please, Rosina knows. I was not in class 2 that was a talkative, and I haven't denied it since.
That's why we're all here. I mean,
so I'm the only one who's not talkative here.
I guess.
And I think it probably even shows in the way I make my submissions.
Exactly. You're like straight to the point and you don't drag. It's true. It's
true. So you ladies,
Jessica, can you rank who is more of a talkative? Can we do the rankings here?
Between the three of you, I think Rosina, you take the
and then
crown
Olivia,
here.
I'm the last.
You just came. So
I'm warming up. Maybe.
You're warming up. Soon you'll take over. But yeah, I mean, Charlie, it can be hard. So I empathize with this woman. Let me read a couple of comments that have come through. Lizzie says, my husband is a talkative. When we first met, it really made me angry, but I was advised to get to know him. And it was really worth it. He's kind-hearted. He feels for everyone. Exercise patience. If you really love him, then you can live with him and also sit him down and talk to him in a nice tone to minimize his talking. Trust me, it worked for me. Hilda says, some people actually say it's nothing. You can manage. But sis, what do you want? What don't you want? There should be limitations to things we say for people to hear. If he has oral diarrhea and you can't, it's fine to walk away. Yeah. Vincent says you're on the verge of marriage collapse. Seek for extensive marriage counseling before going ahead with this marriage. Rena says, seriously? You girls talk too much. Is this the reason to leave a great guy? Oh, come on. My boyfriend talks a lot as well. And if I think he's talking too much, I just keep quiet and watch a movie or stare at his face and smile. He will stop. Sister, please embrace his shortcomings and move on. Why? Love is beautiful. Posh says, how selfish. You fell in love with what he does for you and not with the person. When you truly love someone, you love them as they are with all their pettiness, and you can change that with love. You're not perfect as well. Lydia says, no one is perfect, madame. Sit him down, pamper him, and talk to him. Let him know that it drives you away, and if he loves you, he will change for you. But if you can't manage it, pack your things. Why? Sylvia says, I can't stand such men. They will argue with you till dawn. A nagging man, dear, not. And finally, Ike says, I always try to engage my fiancé in communication whenever we're together, and she complains I talk too much. And whenever I talk less to wahala. Why I'm not talking... That's the reason why I'm not talking to her nowadays. Girls actually don't know what they want sometimes. Thank you so much for watching Sister Sister on your favorite City TV. Now, don't forget, if you want some more exciting content, you can always subscribe to our YouTube channel. We call it the City Tube. And don't forget to click on the bell to receive notifications for fresh updates.
Sister Sister, every Friday at 9 p.m. only on City TV.